Because this is election season, as they say, you have to go to the voters, give them your hisab of what you have achieved over the last 5 years. So in the realm of foreign policy, because you've been shepherding it, you've been marshalling for India's foreign policy over the last 5 years, aside of the G20, the COVID vaccines, navigating India's interests through these two wars, what is the one thing that you would say is the standout for the Modi government, which no other government in the realm of foreign policy has done in the last 75 years?
Well, look, if, it's not an if, it is a when. When I go out and explain foreign policy of the last 10 years to people, I would actually tell them Modi ki guarantee works as much abroad as it does in the country. Okay. And it is Modi ki guarantee which moved the whole Indian system in Operation Ganga, where 5 ministers were deputed and told you sort out those places and come back when the last people come back, when the military is put to work on a mission like this. It could be that, it could be Operation Kaveri in Sudan, it could be what we did during COVID. The whole Vande Bharat mission, that anybody who was stuck somewhere, I mean, there were shipping crews, there were air crews, there were hotel people, there were tourists, there were students who had been told your hostel is closed, go home. So what has happened today? And it isn't just the people who came back. If you looked at the Gulf, where we have today almost 90 lakh people, my deputy Muralidharan and I were regularly going to Gulf during the COVID because we were carrying messages from PM to the Gulf regime saying, please take care of our people. And they did respond. They did take care of them. So, and it could be, it need not be just taking care in a physical sense. The Modi ki guarantee also applies that I will take the right decision to make sure your petrol costs are kept within reasonable grounds by not bowing to political pressure. So that sense that, we have a national interest, the national interest will and national welfare in a way. We will do what it takes. We will send troops in the height of COVID to defend our northern borders. We will react to terrorism in a way in which will deter, any sort of repetition of such attacks. So it works in different ways. I think today, when part of the reason why people respond to foreign policy is they can see that visibly our international stock, our credibility, our weight, our influence has gone up.
So just like the government puts its record to the people and says these are the things that we've achieved in the last 5 years, 10 years, the opposition also has a right to say that, look, this we think are the failures of the government when it comes to foreign policy. So they say, look at the whole situation vis-a-vis China. You mentioned that. The opposition's even gone to the extent of saying you've lost territory to China. Look at the neighborhood. Even friendly countries are not so friendly anymore. The situation with Pakistan is back in the back burner. With the West, there are serious differences on the Russia-Ukraine war, on the Israel-Hamas war. What would you say to that? What would you say to the opposition's narrative?
Well, I would say, some of the places which, by the way, they said we had lost, were lost in 1962, if not before. So I'd say first go and get a lesson in history, possibly in geography. The second, we may have, differences with the West on Ukraine. But the purpose of foreign policy is not to agree with other powers on the basis of their interest. The purpose of foreign policy is to defend your interest and advance it. So if I have a difference, I have a difference. So what would the opposition like me to do? To get along with people and increase my petrol purchase, price at which I buy fuel? So, let's get the parameter of judgment right.